Joining us on this episode of the podcast, Parm Bhangal. Parm, we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, and excited to come on and join us. So thanks for joining us. For those that I would say don't know you, because I'd say you're quite famous locally, that people know the name and know the face. But give us an intro to you, Parm.
Intro,
yeah.
Parm Bhangal. I run multiple businesses. Used to be in construction. Started as a quantity surveyor at the very young age of 17. Went and done various things. Done an apprenticeship in quantity surveying. Loved construction. Just loved building things. Went through a few bosses. My last one was not the greatest. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to swear, but I would put some F's and blinds into that one. He was an arsehole, and I left that and I thought, no, not doing this. Started my own business, 22. Just thought, actually, I've got the talent and I've got the people skills to be able to do this. Started my first big business, Bangles Construction Consultants, 13 years ago now, and have just grown since then. Learned business, learned life, learned employment, learn everything you need to learn. And since then, just grown, developed new businesses, and just grown. So yeah, that's me.
Do you know what I like? And I looked at your website yesterday because I wanted to see the kickoff of how you got into it. And it's funny when you say about your last boss. I can't remember.
Be careful here, Frazer.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Last, not current.
Exactly. But you were quite vocal on that. But it's one of the things that Ben says quite a lot. When we have things, we adapt and we overcome. We say that quite a lot. That Ben didn't go to the school as managing director. He's probably gone
University of Life.
University
of Life. 100%. That's what it is.
You may be.
Sometimes I wish I went to university though.
Yeah. What would you have studied?
I'll
answer it for you. It'll be sports science or sports management or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't academically blessed, if you like. I mean, my mum was a school teacher, but I wasn't really the best at learning. But yeah. I make mistakes every week.
Most days.
We all do, don't we?
But it's about how you learn from them. And
100%.
You know, I wish part of me does think, would I have made decisions differently if I had have gone and studied, I don't know, business management or got a degree in that. But the thing you say about people is really interesting. What's your favourite business? Because you've got 4 or 5, haven't you?
I've got 7 businesses.
7.
Yeah, I've got 7 businesses. I think actually over the years, I've come to love and hate them all in equal measure. The one I enjoy spending my most time on now is coaching and mentoring people, because you can see the difference that you make in people's lives and their businesses. But like with any business and life, it's always up and down. A lot of people will talk about business and say, oh, I wish I had a business where I didn't have to manage people. And there are people out there that have got businesses that don't have to manage people. But ultimately, you look at it and you go, well, if you don't have people, you don't really have a business, do you? And if you have people, ultimately you have problems, because we all have problems in our lives. So I don't think there's any business that I really love more than any other. I feel like I love the process, the process of having a good business, running a good business, improving it and growing it.
And do you have an exit plan for each of them or any of them?
I have an exit plan for all of them, I would say, apart from my coaching business, which is something that I would like to continue to do, because that's very one-to-one and training people. Apart from that, I think, we do have a defined exit for every single one of them.
So one I'm keen to learn more about, because the journey, I've sort of followed it, if you like, from a distance, and it's like, oh, Parm's doing this. Wings Kings.
Wing Kings,
sorry.
Wing
I saw
Kings.
that at MK Dons. Like we do quite a bit over there. Obviously, great setup, and we were there with some clients a couple of months ago. I can't remember what game it was, but You guys were quite prominent there.
Yeah, we are quite prominent.
So how did that happen?
When you become a prominent brand in a location, other people come to you. So we used to get Don's players in, we used to get the Don's manager in, we used to get Don's back of house team in, and then they started talking to our team and our management. They're like, well, why don't you do something with us? And when that happens, you go somewhere and you go, actually, we can make this work. So we spoke to the Dons in depth, and we discussed what we wanted from them and what they could expect from us as well as a brand. And that's how that deal came about. But the business itself, so I love wings. I love barbecuing. You come to my house in the summer, we're going to have the barbecue on and we're going to be grilling wings. And all my mates, all my family, that's what we do. I love food. And COVID hit. And obviously COVID massively affected everyone. One of my cousins who I'm very close with decided he was going to go off to Dubai because he owns a clothing brand and everything shut down. And he was like, I'm not staying there, I'm going. And he went off there, and we had previously eaten in America Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
And he messaged me. He sent a picture from Dubai saying they bought the franchise to Dubai. Should we take it to the UK? We contacted them. They told us, no, thank you, mate. And then we're like, well, actually, this ain't brain surgery. We run businesses. We can do this. Started building the concept. I have to say, we didn't quite understand the food industry at the beginning. It's very different to all the other businesses that I run. But it's a great brand. It's a great brand.
So your businesses they're all, with the exception of wings, they're all B2B.
Yes, they are.
How do you find the difference between a B2B business and a B2C?
I feel like running a B2B business is easier because people understand the commercial challenges. Whereas when you run a B2C business, especially in food and beverage, there is so many moving parts. Like, we're in construction, so we have a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
But when you look at a restaurant or a food business or something like that, the moving parts is 3-4 times as much. There's so many things that can go wrong and do go wrong every single day. B2C business I do find are a lot harder. But actually, when you look at social media and promoting businesses, B2C businesses are easier to promote, easier to blow up, easier to get some significance in them.
I think that's what you get, is that lifestyle choice of what people want, and the marketing is extremely strong on Wing Kings, but it's that American sports, not diner, but that feel.
Yeah.
You go and drink a cold one, have some wings, and watch the sport.
100%.
And what's been the biggest challenge? Not with necessarily that business, but if there's one thing that you say you've learned to love and hate all of your businesses, but if you look back now and go, do you know what, guys, that one time was really difficult because, what would that be?
I think I would probably go back probably 7 years now. I had a point where I was working myself to every hour God was sending. And at that point, I thought I had a business, but really I didn't, because everything that was happening within, I think at that point I had 3 businesses. Everything in them 3 businesses were all revolving around me. It was always like Parm, Parm, Parm. Although I had people, all the people were just like Parm, Parm, Parm all the time. And it was madness. And actually that was a bad time for me, because I felt like it was just a constant grind every day, same old thing. Everyone on my back, whether it be clients, whether it be members, staff, whoever it was, everyone was always wanted a piece of me. And you get to the point where you feel like you haven't got any more pieces to offer. And I've done this and I've done this. And I remember, I'll never forget this day. It was June time. 2018. And it was a really nice day. And I got up. I'm an early person. I'd wake up early. I'd like to get the gym done and then go to work. And I got up, and it was a Friday. I needed to put the bins out. And I opened the door, went to put the bins out, and I literally collapsed on the floor.
Oh, wow.
And it was probably only like 45 seconds, 60 seconds later, I got up, and there was just blood all over the floor. And I literally did not know what had happened. I managed to get myself into the house. I shouted for Karen, and I was like, and she could see that I needed help. Got to hospital, and I sat in this hospital, and I was sat in this bed, had this robe on, and I was sat there. I was just confused. I was like, I don't understand this. I don't know why I'm sitting here. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I've got a fairly good diet. I shouldn't be sat here. And the crazy thing was, my oldest daughter now, Jana, she was like 7 or 8 months old. And I was sat in this hospital, and I was just thinking about all the things that I needed to do. I wasn't thinking about my family. I wasn't thinking about Karen. I wasn't thinking about Gianna. I was like, shit, I got to email this person. I got this project to sort out. I got this to price. I got this. And then this doctor walked in, and he was like, I'm at a loss because everything seems to be okay, and I don't really understand what's going on. Like, we need to ask you a few more questions. And he was like, what's your stress level like? And that's when it hit me, and I was like, Jesus, that's what this is. It's like 4 or 5 years of, probably longer than that, of just going at it day in, day out, 7 days a week, as many hours as you could, thinking that everything revolved round me. The business was me. And at that point, it took me a while to get my head around the fact that actually I was sat in a position where I had a successful business. It was successful. We were making profit. It was growing. But I wasn't me. I lost myself in all of that. And I got a bit of a slap. It was a wake-up call. It was like, well, this is what's happening. And I think that's the biggest lesson that I had in business, was that it isn't all about you. It's never all about you. And if you think it's all about you, you need to change that really quickly, because you will go out. You'll either have a very unsuccessful business, or you'll go into burnout, and you'll neglect all the things that are actually really important in life, like family. And I was disappointed in myself when I walked out of that hospital. And I was just disappointed that I'd put myself in that position. I was disappointed that I'd put my family in that position.
What was, if you don't mind going into a bit more on this, what was Karen's perspective? Because obviously she works with you in the businesses as well, but first and foremost, you're her husband.
Me and Karen are very different people. I'm highly, highly motivated, and I'm always pushing. Whereas she's like, well, we're comfortable. It's okay. We don't need any more than this. So I'd rather have you than have that. And this is where we're a little bit different, because I'm like, well, I'd rather have that and maybe sacrifice some time with the family, which I get isn't the greatest way to look at stuff. But, I don't want to work till I'm 70 years old. I want to be in a position where I can semi-retire at 45, 50 and go, actually, we've done all right. If I want to work, I'll work. If I don't, I don't. Whereas she's like, well, you're a dad. So the most important thing here is your daughters don't care about the money. They just want your time. And it took me a long time to figure that out.
Yeah, there's a couple of years ago, it's probably around... It probably was during the pandemic. My wife tagged me in something on Instagram. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like the behind of a dad with 2 kids, and it's got the egg timer. I can't remember the wording.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But and yeah, that's. I think what you've described there is. I think a lot of people can probably put themselves in a similar position at some point.
I think everyone's guilty of it, because you well, not everybody, but you throw yourself 100% into what you're doing, and you two as business owners, you don't anymore, but you'd have seen yourself that it's me, everything stops with me, everything stops with me, and you you probably apply undue pressure onto yourself when you didn't need to, but you can't see the effect it's having onto your family, your friends, and everything else because you're stuck in that lane. You're going at 100 miles an hour.
And you're so focused as well. You're so focused. Like my focus, that's one thing I know that I'm really good at, focusing. If I'm focused on something, you ain't moving me from it. I don't look at the clock. So, you know, Karen will still to this day, if I'm not home at like 6:15, she's like, you get an hour with the girls in the night.
Yeah.
Like, you need to be home at 6 o'clock. But when I'm focused, it's like the clock's not there anymore.
Yeah.
And I just keep going until burnout. And I have to really make a conscious decision to get home for 6 and not be that person.
You mentioned people as a really important part of your success today.
Mm-hmm.
Give us an insight into the skill or the art that is building a great team, but recruiting the right superstar or individual to help you on that journey.
Right. So I went to university and I learned quantity surveying. How much of that I apply now? Very minimal. What I wish I'd learned is people management, leadership at a lot younger age, because I've learned that through experience. The main thing about recruiting the right people, well, people talk about recruitment. Well, what is recruitment? Recruitment is a CV lands on your desk. You look at it and go, yeah, kind of fits. Someone comes in for an interview, you get 40 minutes to 60 minutes to assess them. You might do a second interview and some questions, a little assessment, but that you don't actually know what you're getting at that point. You don't know anything. You literally have had an assessment of 60 minutes, max 2 hours, to figure out whether this person, one, is going to belong within your organization, two, is going to fit in with everyone else in your organization, so your morale across the board don't dip.
Yeah.
And three, is going to be able to grow within your organization, especially if your organization is growing, because that's really important. Because you can find the right person, but if they're not looking to grow within the organization, are they the right person? And that's really hard to do within a set time frame. So with recruitment, we've found that we have to ensure that we've tailored our questions in very specific ways. And then we have to give ourselves that first 3 months to go, have we made a mistake here? And is this going to work? And do these people understand us well enough? So because I'm not the only one that interviews in our businesses now. Whenever I send anyone in to do an interview, which a lot of my team now do, I always say to them, this isn't just the person selling themselves to you. You're selling yourselves to them as well. They have to want to work here. Top talent, highly motivated people, they can pick and choose where they want to work. And if we want them, we need to be the go-to people and we need to be the go-to brand. And that's really important. So, you know, building teams is very, very difficult. It's probably the most challenging thing that we have to do as business owners. I would say so. That's been my biggest challenge. But if you get it right and you master it, you can have a hugely, hugely successful business.
Parm, as the dad and the husband, what does he like to do outside of running the business empire? What's your go-to?
And hopefully
Get
we'll
away.
stop barbecuing now, because you can just pop over and support the business.
Yeah.
So what a lot of
I
people...
know from social media you love Dubai.
Yes, I absolutely love going to Dubai. We love holidaying. I love showing my family and my girls the world. I love educating them about the world, and that the world isn't just where we live. The world is a massive place, and there's opportunities everywhere. But me as an individual, a lot of people will see me on social media wearing suits, going and doing this, having meetings, doing stuff like this. But actually, me as a person, the time when I'm happiest is probably when I'm in my shorts and my vest, sat on my sofa at home with the girls running around. That's my happy place. Yeah, like that's where I want to be.
I think
that's
that
the
will
life I
resonate
enjoy.
with a lot of people as well, because I mean, I'm sure Karen will tell you this when you get home, if you get home at 6:15. But you joke that 15 minutes that you lose, and me and Ben are both fathers as well, and I'm sure a lot of people listening and watching this is, but You lose 4, 5, 15 minutes a week. That's a lot of time. And if you factor that into your business of your 15 minutes that you miss, you'd probably pick that up. So that's quite powerful.
I've got 3 kids, and Taylor's 14, Bo 11, Rocco 4, and I try my hardest to. I missed out on a bit of Taylor and Bo growing up in those baby years, and I've tried my hardest for Rocco not to. And I think I'm probably. I mean, Vicky might say differently, but I think I'm probably. Oh, it sounds a bit deep now, but I think I'm probably a better dad now than what I was 14 years ago, which makes me feel pretty shit, if I'm honest, when I reflect on some of the things you were saying. But I mean, I'm saying that. I left the house at 7 o'clock Monday morning, and I haven't been home since. That's not because I've been out on the lash, by the way. that's because I've been in London for 2 days, and you know, I'm gonna go home early this afternoon now as a result of you saying that.
I'm gonna do it today, tomorrow, and Friday.
Yeah, because it's that balance, and it's getting it right, but it's such a difficult one to do because of, and this is where like I don't feel my wife is very different to me, and I love her to bits, but I think she's got probably a greater appreciation now that yes, I'm a dad. Dad is the most important word in the world to me, and I'm a husband. But then I've also got colleagues that I work with every day, customers, and associates or partners as well that we work with.
And they're a responsibility as well.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's so hard. And I genuinely look up to people like yourself and many of the business owners that we've had on the podcast. And I'm like, wow, they've got that balance right. And sometimes I look at it and think I'm so far away from it.
You've got a lot closer. I mean, don't beat yourself up.
I'm not.
You go back and
I mean, we commented like if we look, a lot of the stuff that we do is quite social. But we've really sort of stripped that back.
Yeah, tried to not control it, but everyone thinks we're doing it because it's a jolly and we love going out. Don't get us wrong, we do love going out, but it's that part that we have to do. But maybe that slap that you got, we got that a couple of years ago and went, hold on a minute, we've got to control this because those hours.
That was a proper slap though. But you're all good, and that was the
that was the time where I was like, right, we got to change this. So structure's got to change, things have got to change. You know, like I know in my heart, I know when I haven't spent enough time with my kids because I'll get home and they are stuck to me like glue. And it's like, there's a reason why it's daddy, 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 because they ain't had enough. They ain't had enough of my time and they ain't getting enough. And you know, you pulled a point there about balance, and it was Karen that actually sent this to me. She sent me a video about immersive behavior, and this was probably like 6 months ago, and I try to live by this now, is this immersive behavior. So when I'm at work, I work. Like, I won't be scrolling Instagram, I won't be doing any of that stuff. When I'm at work, I work, and I work deep. I spend every minute being as efficient as I can. But when I'm at home, I'm at home. Like, I'm with the girls. I put my phone to the side, and that's it. So I try and be a lot more immersive now than I was before. Whereas what I was finding is like a year ago, I'd be like, because Karen was giving it all the time, like, you're not at home. I'd come home at 6 o'clock. But I wasn't there. I'm still at work. I'm like walking around the house,
answering stuff,
like texting and emailing and doing what I needed to do. So it was pointless me being at home. Like, literally you're there, but pointless. You're not. And I had to learn that skill.
My eldest said to me the other day, we were watching something on telly, I think it was, and there was literally somebody having a conversation. There was a dad or a bloke in the corner on his phone, and Albie said, "Look, Mum, there's Dad." And I went, yeah, that cuts quite deep.
It does.
But I suppose it's the biggest lesson. Not to summarise this, but the biggest lesson was to release Parm. So Parm did become the number one focus, and probably guessing at this, the biggest regret is that you didn't learn that lesson earlier.
100%. I sometimes it's a blessing in disguise, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
everything happens for a reason.
Yeah,
everything happens for a reason.
You know,
I do believe that. And hopefully people that are are listening to this are going to be able to resonate or take some value from that.
Yeah, and I think on the coaching side as well, a lot of people can learn from. I mean, my head's spinning, and I imagine yours is as well. With a lot of stuff that you've said, I'm sitting here thinking, shit, that's me. I need to change that. I need to do that. Yeah. And I'm not even a business owner, but I think there's
but you're an integral part. You're a senior role within the business.
Yeah. Most would say the most important.
Oh, I'll let Arthur edit that bit out. VIP. Yeah. You know what the P is. I know what the P is. Just we're bringing this to an end now, Parm. So looking ahead, where's Parm and his family in the empire at the end of 2024?
At the end of 2024, we're going to continue to grow our businesses. We're franchising Winkings. In terms of my family, for me now, I want to spend more time with my girls. I spend a lot of time coaching people, but it's my responsibility to also coach and educate myself and my family, my daughters. You know, if I want them to go on to be as successful, if not more successful than I am, it's my responsibility as a father to ensure that I give them lessons in life. And I do that, you know. If you ask Gianna, she's 5 years old. If you ask her what an asset and liability is, she'll tell you. And that's because I've taught her that. If you talk to her about rental properties and income generation, she'll talk to you about it because I've taught her that. And no, I don't talk to them about that all the time, but it's my responsibility, just like it is for me to lead the team well and lead my businesses well. It's actually to lead my family well and to be that person. You know, I always look back to my time in hospital and I think, actually, you know, if that had gone sour and I wasn't here today, what would my team say about me? And what would my family, what are my daughters actually going to remember? Yeah. What has our dad left in us? Not for us, what's he left in us? And I'm striving to be better at that all the time. And if at the end of 2024, I can be in a position where our businesses have grown, we've got a better team, and my daughters are continuing to learn and look in on everything we're doing and strive to be better, then I think I've done a good job.
Parm, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Parm.
Thank you.